Hey guys, I'm back and we are on page 4-14 towards the bottom. We're going to use the live distribute technique. So the first thing that we are going to do is to hide guides, and I think I'm still in preview here, so I'm going to go back, or I'm still in something. I want normal, yeah. And I think my guides are already hidden, but just in case, we're going to hide them. And then we are going to select all, which would be Command or Control A. Command A if you're on a Mac, Control A if you're on a PC. So we're going to select all, and then we're going to copy, which would be Command or Control C. And then we're going to paste in place. And I have to go up to Edit to do paste in place because I don't remember all of those little things there. So we're going to paste it in place. And then we're going to click the center reference point on the control panel. Just going to go back up to the control panel and choose this center reference point. Here we are. All right, why won't this let me do this? I will just have to there. Just speak a little nasty to it, and then it does what you want it to, right? No. All right, so we click the center reference point on the control panel. Then we're going to type 90 in the rotation angle text box. So we want to look for the rotation angle text box. And we're going to type 90. Holy moly. Then we're going to press enter or return, which is exactly what I did. And then we're going to verify that the fill button is in the front of the tools, on the tools panel. Click on the green to bring that to the foreground. And then we're going to go over here to the swatches panel, and we're going to click on dark blue. And then you want to compare your screen to figure 26 in your textbook or mine on the screen. It looks just like it's supposed to. That's always a good thing. Then we're going to select all, again, Command or Control A. And then we want to press and hold Shift Alt if you're on a Windows, or Shift Option if you're on a Mac. And then we are going to click and drag the upper corner of the bounding box toward the upper right corner of the document. Okay, I have to think about this. Upper right corner of the bounding box toward the upper right corner of the document. While you're still dragging, we want to place and okay, wait a minute, I'm not so sure I've done this right. Let me pause a minute so I can think about this, and I'll be right back. All right, I just skipped a series of sentences here, which is not ever a good thing. So we, again, starting at the top of page 4-15, number 4, you want to select all, which is Command or Control A. And I also zoomed out a bit with the zoom tool so I could see the impact of what I was doing on the artboard itself. So then we're, again, going to hold down Shift Alt if you're on a Windows, or Shift Option if you're on a Mac. Then we're going to click and drag this the upper right handle of the bounding box toward the center of the page, just like this. And then we're going to release the mouse button when our checkerboard resembles figure 27 or mine on the screen. And let me see, that looks pretty close, maybe a little bit more. Okay. Now the objects are scaled from their center point, and the reason that they were scaled from their center point is because of the quick key combination that we had held down. Now we're going to click and drag the upper right hand corner of the bounding box toward the upper right corner of the document, and while we are dragging, we're going to press and hold the space bar. So we're going to get this corner, we're going to click and drag and hold down the space bar and see what happens. When you press spacebar while dragging, the Live Distribute option is enabled. The space between the objects is modified, larger or smaller, depending on what the direction is that you are dragging. Now, with the space bar still pressed, we're going to drag the handle in different directions on the document. So you can kind of see what's going on here. Now with the, regardless of the direction that you drag, the frames do not change size or shape. You'll see that they don't change, just the spaces between the frames change. With the space bar still pressed, we're going to press and hold Shift-Alt if you're on a Windows, or Shift-Option if you are on a Mac. Geez Louise, you have to be a little coordinated here to do this. And then we're going to drag the handle to the upper right corner of the document and release the mouse button. Really? I don't think I did that right. Space bar, Shift, and Option. Drag the handle of the upper right corner and release the mouse button. When you're pressing and holding the space bar, Shift, Alt if you're on a Windows, or space bar, Shift, Option on a Mac, when the dragging enlarges the space between the frames in proportion from the center. And your page should resemble figure 28, which mine doesn't because I had it a little off kilter. But if I just click and drag and drop, and then again, space bar, Option, well, let's see. I'm going to select all, Command A, get our cursor there, hold down space bar, Option, and Shift, and then click and drag to get it a little bit closer to that space that it's supposed to be. Still not quite right, but close. All right, so now we are going to begin dragging the upper right handle of the bounding box slowly toward the center of the document. Select all again. Shift, Alt or Option, space bar. Yeah, that's not right. Don't do that. All right, so let's undo that. We're going to hold down our space bar, Option, and Shift, and click and drag. Oh, geez Louise. Click with your mouse in the upper right-hand corner. Hold down your space, Option, and your Shift, or Alt, depending on, again, what system you're on, and then click and drag toward the center of the document. Now I have to let go to turn my page. As you're dragging, press spacebar to activate Live Distribute, and then press Shift Alt if you're on a Windows, Shift Option on a Mac, and continue dragging toward the center until your artwork resembles figure 29 or mine on the screen. And then we're going to deselect and then do a Command or Control S to save that document. Phew, that exercise made me sweat. Okay, now we're going to use the Gap tool. So we're going to click the Gap tool on the Tools panel, and the Gap tool is right here close by, in front of my face. There it is. We're going to position the Gap tool over the middle vertical gap, and then we're going to click and drag left so that our grid resembles figure 30 or mine on the screen. We're going to position the Gap tool over the bottom horizontal gap, and then we're going to click and drag up so that our grid resembles figure 31, or again, mine on the screen. It's kind of cool, isn't it? Then we're going to position the gap tool over the gap between the top 2 frames in the upper right corner. And we're going to press and hold Shift, and then we're going to click and drag to the left so that our grid resembles figure 32 on the screen. Figure 32 or mine on the screen. All right, now we're going to press and hold Control if you're on a Windows or Command if you're on a Mac. Then click and drag the left edge of the grid to the left. The width of the 4 frames on the left is increased. No, it's not. I must not be doing that right. Okay, press and hold Control if you're on a Windows, Command if you're on a Mac. Then click and drag the left edge of the grid to the left. Yeah, we do know our difference between right and left. There you go. The width of the 4 frames on the left is increased. Now we're going to press and hold Alt, again if you're on a Windows, Option if you're on a Mac. Position the gap tool over the bottom horizontal gap. And then we are going to drag down. As shown in figure 33, the frames on both sides of the gap move. Neither the frames nor the gap are resized, only relocated. All right, and I think that that's about enough for this particular exercise. I'm going to save this, upload it, and I'll be back to align some objects with you.